Jolan, true Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Postmod. I am Fleet Admiral Tarek of the battleship RS Flammapena, and yes, we are once again inside a King Condor battleship. Yes, as a reward for finally having captured the Sol system located right here in the middle of the map at 14-7, Romulan High Command has finally decided that we are no longer in the doghouse for having lost our last battleship to evil saboteurs, and they have granted us the brand new King Condor Dreadnought Flammapena, so that we may continue to smite the Federation. And with that in mind, let us set out into space to cause as much havoc as possible in our grand floating fortress. And the first mission shall be a convoy raid, so not exactly what I was looking for, but I guess we can do it. Let's hit red alert and see how much speed we can generate. We'll set our phaser capacitor to 50%, just so we have a decent idea of how fast this ship actually goes. It has been a long time. The entire siege of the Sol system was undergone in the time that we were not in one of these gigantic ships. I also kind of forgot how ugly the model was, but that's okay. The amount of firepower is in itself alone worth it. So let's make sure that we go through and set up our heavy weapons systems. So on the first quick call command point, we have no less than 16 phaser X's and 6 phaser 3s for point defense. On the number 2 hard point, we are bringing all of the plasma, which consists of no less than 2 R-type plasma torpedoes. And on the light plasma torpedoes, there are the F-type plasma torpedoes, and the other remaining plasma torpedoes are the S-type plasma torpedoes. The heavies, of course, the R's and the S's being on quick call number 4, the lights on 3, 2 being all the plasma, and 1 being all the phasers. The only downside is one of these plasma weapons only shoots backwards, and that would be this plasma S right here. It's a stern-firing arc one, so it can be a little bit difficult to get everything firing at something. But that's okay. I think we've located our little friend, the convoy escort. And not you. There he is. Zooming on in, it is an X-type destroyer. Well, frigate. It is an XFG, a X-guided frigate. So is that a drone frigate? Am I expecting like 6 drone launchers? Quite possibly. Let's make sure that we are fully kitted out and ready to rock. Shield reinforcement is now up. Our electronic warfare systems are now active. And, yeah, let's hit him with a brick. Let's hit him with a big brick. Hey, little buddy, what you gonna do if suddenly all of that came at you? You know what? Let's just sweeten the pot. That also came at you. How would you react? How would you respond? Also, apparently a Q ship. Yeah, he is equipped with 4 missile launchers. That's gotta be one of the most pathetic X-type ships I've seen. 4 missile launchers? That's it? One of them's a G-Rack and 2 Bs? I mean, I've seen kind of crappy ships before, but you kind of take the cake. Unfortunately, the USS Kiev is going to be too close for us to fire our heavy plasma at him. Risk it. We're going to see if we can't... Oh yeah, that's exactly what we wanted. We timed it perfectly. So the plasma torpedoes were still going after his Wild Weasel, but his acceleration was at such a high rate that he was able to basically stop it. Well, basically pick up enough speed so that he would not be able to avoid it unless he had slowed down, which he did not do. We're going to send a couple of Yep, there we go. That's what I was hoping for. A couple of pseudo-plasma torpedoes at the Q ship. Make him freak out. He is a pretty well-armed Q ship. He's armed with 2 photon torpedoes. 4 phaser 1s and 2 phaser 3. He's a frigate. This flat out is a frigate. Holy crap. I'm impressed, not gonna lie. Send the big torpedo his way and hope that his acceleration rates are fine. Yeah, this is a full-on, flat-out Federation frigate from the early era, plus an anti-missile defense system. That's impressive. Nice solid hit in there with the plasma torpedo. Managed to blast through his stern shields and only did 2 damage, which is a little disappointing, not gonna lie, but I think we'll be able to handle it. So turn into him nice and slowly. Let's pick up a little bit of speed. We don't need to be going this slowly. Almost there. Fire. There we go. Didn't quite kill you, but did a pretty decent amount of damage to you. 42 after blasting through them shields. And we still have a whole bunch of other phasers that we can shoot. I'm going to wait so we can get all of them on target so that we can get the maximum amount of firepower. That's all of them. Not quite enough. We actually did more damage. Well, there was also the shield, so probably about the same. Another FQL. So we've got 2 Federation frigates basically here. Hi. Plasma torpedo? Is that going to creep you out? It should. I mean, you are light, so I will fire this right on top of you. Oh, that's a fast stop. Those engines are something special. Oh, I did not realize that you were running. I thought you were heading towards me. I got an improper assumption because the Q-ships were heading my way. But no, it does appear that you are sprinting that way. So let's move to catch up to you. You know what? Since you asked, have some of that. And we're going to continue to sprint as fast as we can. Just so we can catch up to them. We do need to kill them all, otherwise bad stuff happens. Namely, we lose a mission, and losing your first mission after getting a King Condor would be kind of embarrassing. Just a little bit. Though, the King Condor is ugly. I cannot tell a lie. This ship is... Well, the model, I do believe this is probably the original model. Because the textures are not fantastic, and the shapes are not great. I mean, we've seen what really nice models can come in this mod pack. And I don't think the Romulans got a whole heck of a lot of love. Or at least not this end of the spectrum. So something that could use improving in the future, hopefully. If you missed it, go back to last episode. Our helpful friend GTA, who has come out with all kinds of just helpful things about Starfleet battles. He's actually apparently either played the game or knows a ton about this game. So I'm a little bit jealous because I would love to play that game at some point. And he gave us a nice little history of sort of Romulan starship design, which was really fascinating. I highly suggest you check out his comment. It should be the favorited comment from yesterday's video. And basically just going into sort of how the way pseudo-frigates were brought into the Romulan fleet, the evolution of new cruiser designs. It was really fascinating. And he also brought up the fact that the Federation, technically, in the pseudo-frigate expansion that came out for Starfleet Battles, the Federation did in fact get pseudo-frigates. He did say that I should probably inquire into seeing if those could be put in, but unfortunately, and I have only done a little bit of digging on this, and it was a couple of months ago, it seems to me like that can't be done in this game, that you can't put pseudo-frigates and fighters onto a ship. It's either one or the other. Without having access to the source code, there's just not a whole lot we can do. There are some limitations. Oh, that's an interesting response. That's a you're dead response, but interesting response nonetheless. He decided to go for the scatter pack. He thought it was going to be me, although I'm kind of surprised that a freighter was carrying that kind of weaponry. We're going to come over here to you. Are you guys? Yeah, you're just chugging along. Can't quite keep up. You're only little. You can't quite make it. Fire the plasma torpedo. It will cause him to stop, I assume, because he does not have a missile launcher, unlike his friend. So, nope, you're just going to take it? Yeah, he just decided to take it. It is only an anti-plasma torpedo, so I can understand that. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, from what I understand, this game, they can't set it up so that you can have pseudo-frigates and fighters, at least in the same ship. It might not be the case for faction-wide, but I'm pretty certain some of that stuff is a little bit hard-coded in as to what kind of equipment you can get your hands on. Because the topic that I had read a while back was asking about the ability to bring in new weapons and new races. And the response was generally they couldn't really do it because they didn't have access to the right code for it. I hope sometime in the future that changes, because the more we can get this game like Starfleet Battles, the better it becomes. I mean, the amount of changes that Firesoul did for this mod pack to make it more like Starfleet Battles has drastically improved the game. The more ship classes means just everything is more varied and interesting. Improved models means it's just fun to look at things. I mean, the Federation get this the best, and if you ever take an opportunity to play this mod, go into, or just look at the model viewer, go in and check out all of the different Federation vessels, and nearly all of them, or at least a significant chunk of the cruiser lines, both light and heavies, every single ship type is unique. And it's little stuff that you generally wouldn't necessarily notice, but it's stuff that makes sense because the overall ship class is kind of the same, but underlying that, there were different small minor system improvements, like they decided to put a photon torpedo here, and in this one they decided it was going to be a missile launcher, and they model that on the model itself. This is mainly for Federation ships. Most of the other races didn't quite get as much love as the Federation did for kind of obvious reasons. And so if you really want an example of what this game truly could be from a graphics perspective, yeah, go and check out the Federation ships from the model viewer, or just go into the game and select them and zoom in on your own, because they are just it's wonderful. And I know why it wasn't done originally, because this game was released in 2001, 2001, I think. So the amount of space they had on a disc, not huge, and the idea of going online for patches, not super common still. Starting to get there, because 2000s is sort of the explosion, because late 90s, early 2000s is all the kinds of the internet coming to massive, to everybody at that point. But they weren't able to put everything into that game because, well, one, Starfleet Battles, I think, is kind of weird in a copyright perspective, but two, because they just didn't have enough room on the disc. And now we can. So one, if they ever remake this game, which they should, come on, I mean, we've seen how good this game can look. Then they'll be able to go all out with it. And yeah, Starfleet Battles also being an extremely complicated game, but the complexity really comes from all of this, the power management. And I think if you can get rid of the power management, which this game lets you do, the game becomes much more accessible. Now, I'm not saying the game is simple by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying that if you take away all of this crap, all of the manually tracking of your damage and all of the stuff involved in that, then you've got a game which you can pick up relatively easy and has a low skill floor, so pretty much anybody can play it. I mean, I was a kid. I was like 12 years old or something like that when I first started playing this game. And I could play it. I mean, I didn't have any concept of the tactics, and I didn't quite understand all the things that the weapons could do. But even a kid can play this game. And then at the higher end of it, though, once you start playing through the game, you start to learn about all the systems, you start to learn about how everything interacts with each other, and it's hugely fun for people who want to actually invest their time in, which is something that, thanks to this Let's Play, I've been able to do. And the game just gets more and more rewarding the more you play it. So yeah, this is... I don't want to call it the perfect Star Trek game, because Elite Force does exist, but this is probably really close to being this perfect Star Trek game. And I desperately want to see it expanded. I want to see more ship models. I want to see better ship textures. I want to see a wider selection of eras a bit, but that's a personal thing where I just kind of want to be able to play from the early era and go all the way to Deep Space Nine. I know that the timelines don't quite match up between Starfleet Battles and actual Star Trek canon, but I think it'd be pretty cool. We're currently looking at a dreadnought here. An abandoned dreadnought, an abandoned Romulan dreadnought. This is actually one of our friends. I mean, technically not, so we're going to kill him, but that's pretty interesting. We will... wrong button. I want to go to enveloping plasma torpedoes, just so we can hit him with all the bricks. And let's quickly check out transporter room. Yeah, we're going to steal his dilithium crystals. This captain was apparently trying to flee. That wouldn't make any sense, though. I mean, we are pretty severely winning this war. So we'd have to come up with some reason why this captain would try and make off with his ship. Like, why are we not trying to save him and help him? That's actually a little bit of a difficult one, because the Romulans aren't like... They're not evil bastards. They're ruthless, sure, but they're not Klingons. Not quite. Or maybe. I get it. Okay, so here's the show. See if you stick with me with this one. See if it makes any sense. So we figured out who actually sabotaged our vessel. It was not the Federation as we had believed. No, this was a rival Romulan faction. You see, we had been doing quite well. We had risen up through the ranks, gotten no less than 2 of the King Condor class battleships. Highly sought after battleships for their great and amazing firepower. And yet, we had made political enemies and had not realized it. So our political enemies had managed to sneak a bomb onto our vessel, and at the appropriate moment, they detonated it, trying to kill us, quite obviously. And they were almost successful. However, we were able to escape just barely in time. Now, we have been steadily looking and trying to hunt down this person, whoever he was, be he Romulan or be he Federation, to figure out, to try and get revenge for the destruction of our fantastic King Condor vessel. I know, that's a little bit shaky there, and the delivery didn't come out all that well, but quite frankly, I was making it up as I was going along, so you're going to have to bear with me just a little bit on that one. In the meantime, let's basically soar around at a speed of 25 in a dreadnought, and launch lots of heavy plasma torpedoes at a light cruiser. Oh, there go they are. Yeah, you're done for. You know what? You're not allowed to do that. We're the only ones allowed to kill him. There we go. So we've now planted the exact same bomb that had been planted on our King Condor on his vessel. Disabled his weapons, disabled his engines, disabled his communications, and he will pay the price for his treachery. Although we are a little bit impatient. So we're going to help it along. And we'll see what happens first. Does the plasma get him or does the bomb get him? My bet's on the plasma. But, you know, the bomb... The venerable leader. Oh. You wish, mate. You wish. Fortunately, we're out of weapons. Come on. More phases. There we go. And thus, our political rivals have been extinguished. Our star is in the ascendant. We shall rise for Romulus. And I predict a long-running political career for us in the future. Yeah, that's how that's going to work. And a decent amount of prestige, more tiles neutralized, we're blasting our way through, and we're kind of, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the border. We are trying to figure out where the border of our territory is, or Federation territory is, so we can start grabbing the stations. The stations, of course, being very important to grab. Set our plasma torpedoes to enveloping right from the get-go. Let's see how much, if we needed to basically crash charge everything, how fast could we actually go? I'm going to tell you, quick spoiler, not that fast, it's the speed of 4. We are escorted today by the Singularity Skimmer. Oh, I love that name. Can I steal that name, please? I mean, not for my ship, but that's a fantastic pirate name. Oh, yeah, speaking of pirates, I've been thinking about doing a pirate campaign. And the reason I've been thinking about doing a pirate campaign is because I was listening to the radio one day, or not the radio, the internet radio, Spotify, and I had a random playlist up, and then Pirate King came up from the Pirates of Penzance. And I really like that song. It's funny, it's hilarious, and I really like that musical. So I'm leaning more and more towards doing a pirate campaign just as the end is sort of kind of an Easter egg. Not really, I mean, we didn't make this game, so it's not really much of an Easter egg, but it might be fun to do at least one pirate campaign. I know I said I'm not a huge fan of the pirates, and to be frank, I'm not. I don't like their ship designs, and their weapon combinations are just a mishmash of the major empires, but you know what, doing one just to see how it works, to show the other map, because technically there's 2 maps, and I might go in and remember to show you that, assuming we don't get confused by this light cruiser and get into a long battle. But yeah, so basically the Dynaverse map that we play on works off a 2-tier system. And the map that we've been looking at for the past 8 campaigns is the Empire map. This is the main borders of empires. But underneath that, if you go up into the Empire list and change it, you can look at the cartel map to see exactly which cartels operate in which area. So it might be worth doing a pirate campaign sort of to just to sort of check that out. Alright, let's make him think that the absolute universe is about to end on him. And in the meantime, we'll do this. Set up our ECCM, please, because we already did. We just didn't set up the shield system. So the HDW X2, it's a very nice destroyer. It's got 4 missile launchers. I'm kind of impressed. Oh, it's always nice when the Plasma Ds just go ham on things. And that was a scatter pack. How you do this game? I'm confused now. You crash stopped and dumped a scatter? And you knocked out my shields? He's dead here, but I'm really surprised that happened, because apparently that happened. We took damage out of that. He legitimately caused damage to my ship with missiles. Slow, small missiles. If that's not arrogance, I don't know what is. A small, tiny amount of prestige. What else would you expect? Oh, we're operating on the Gorn border, so things may get complicated. And there's a planet up there. Did not realize we may have to worry about a planet. Yes, operating along the Gorn border, Gorn vessels may now start to show up. They are very dangerous because they're almost us. Not quite. I mean, they are weaker than us. Sort of. Okay, it's different kinds of strengths. Let's go into it. We may as well. We have time as we're waiting for us to get into a battle. Plasma torpedoes to enveloping, of course. So, the Gorn emphasize a sturdy, solid ship design with excellent firing arcs, and they actually invented the plasma turret, or plasma swivel, plasma table? It's something plasma swivelly by. Basically, they took the plasma torpedo mount and they can turn it, which gave them massive amounts of arc range on their plasma torpedoes. Like, you see this, these are half arcs, but the Gorn have that from almost the get-go, and it's pretty impressive. And they have even wider ones than that. So basically, their plasma shoots in any direction they feel like. Which can be difficult if you're playing Romulans, because, you know, we'd like to try and stay outside your main arcs. And 2, super heavy phaser armaments, which also have fantastic firing arcs. You may have noticed that throughout this campaign, I have been cursing the phaser arcs because Romulan phaser arcs ain't great. I'm sorry, I've tried, but no, they're not designed to be played as phaser boats. Gorn, definitely designed to be played as phaser bolts. I mean, they don't care. They have all of the systems for it. Their phasers have fantastic arcs and come in such huge numbers. It's basically another primary heavy weapon for them, which is kind of funny when you think about it. So they combine sturdiness, sort of a straightforward knockout, drag-out fight, whereas Romulan ships are very, very heavily skewed towards being rapid, alpha-striking monsters, and we are. Let's not kid ourselves, we are amazing at an alpha strike, which we will demonstrate in all of its plasma glory. I need you, and I will need to fire the pseudo-torpedoes as of now. Send them out your way, start our turn away, and we'll set the speed of time to the normal. And I think we're just going to go right on you. Yeah, we got you to break pretty far from us, mainly because we were going so gosh darn slow. So we should be able to pick up the speed just a little bit. Not a whole lot. It does take two and a half, or just 2? Yeah, 2 points of energy to move this boat, which is pretty slow. Our last one was 1.5. Okay, so he's dead. There's just no other way to put that. He's dead. He doesn't have a WoW Weasel, and yeah. Let's focus on the Heavy War Destroyer. We have a whole bunch of phasers, which I think can do a pretty decent amount of damage here. Although, let's go deploy and deploy. Getting our Starhawks out there. I have been told they're Starhawks, or at least I think they are. I could be wrong on that because, yeah, it's been quite a little while since I read that post by GTA, which I said is Jolan. So blasting in to the Patton. Patton's a decent name for a War Destroyer, don't you think? I mean, yeah, it'd be better as a heavy cruiser since Patton was such an aggressive general, but... Oh, yeah, speaking of which, plasma torpedo, please. Yeah, there we go. And plasma torpedoes to normal. Just gotta get that out there. And that one did get wild weaseled, and we will not have any phasers ready to go quite in time. And I don't see the base, which kind of sucks. Attack ships are about to go away, phasers are about to be ready. So let's, tractor defense is active, all weapons select. We did get I'm gonna guess that was an overload photon torpedo. Our shields went way down after that. Alright, plasma torpedoes, enveloping, and increase the speed of time. And you know what, just because I'm going to have a hard time finding this, the deep scan increases the effective range of your scanners. We currently are sitting at a maximum of 100. Whoa, duck! But deep scan at maximum scan will be able to reach out to, I believe, 133. So it can be useful. And as you see, the moment we take power away, that disappears. But we at least now know where it is. Speaking of which, we are going to return, because I don't want to lose them. They are expensive and fantastic and wonderful. Yeah, 4 plasma F torpedoes. And a single phaser 1 and a single phaser 3, but still 4 plasma F torpedoes. It'd be amazing if they had 4 plasma S's. That would be basically just 4 giant torpedo launchers, a warp core, and a little impulse engine in the back. No room for anything else. How much energy do I have in a forward shield? 14.5. We really cannot go very quickly when we're doing stuff. I assume I do have pseudo torpedoes, so we'll basically just give him the flooding fire. So we'll fire all of the pseudos, that'll eat up all of his defensive phaser fire, and then we'll follow that up with all of the plasma. But yes, we're not the fastest ship anymore, but we are quite possibly the strongest. I don't know, I'd have to actually go back and check all the weapons on all the battleships in this game. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Romulan one might actually have the most raw firepower, which would be cool. Alright, slow down speed of time, slow down the ship. Okay, all the pseudos. Select our heavy plasma torpedoes. All the heavies. Select the lights. And as soon as we hit within a range of 10, we can then fire all the lights. So that'll eat up his 4 phaser 3s. They will not be able to affect the actual torpedoes incoming. And just look at that crunching damage. And here go the light plasma torpedoes, and now we're just going to drift on in to cause utter devastation and annihilation. Of course, it does take a little while. I'm going to hope that most of your systems are offline at this point. Nope, no they're not. He's still got a phaser, which is a problem. Not quite sure why he hasn't shot at me. Seems a little bit weird. But I ain't about to look a gift horse in the mouth. Okay, now we're in trouble because our forward shield doesn't have any reinforcements. He's got... Yeah, that. Yeah, he's definitely got that. And they beamed raiding parties onto me. That's a little insulting, man. Here, have the last thing I can send at you. It wasn't enough. I'm honestly kind of surprised. Alright, let's pull around to a stop. We have about 3 turns to wait before we can come back and kill you, so just be patient, okay? Yeah, he can't really hit us in cloak. It's not something he's going to be doing. So I'm going to just wait here while my plasma torpedoes charge and slowly come back around. All plasma torpedoes selected. One of our R's is not charging, but I'm going to be perfectly frank with you. I don't think we need it. Alright, so facing him with that shield. Come out of cloak. Be all scary and stuff. The wavy effects. Although that would be cool if we could get that in this game. Yeah, you're done. Good night. Goodbye. Nah, I'm not going to bother asking you for last words. You were an asteroid base. You don't matter in the long run. So, a successful asteroid base annihilated by our King Condor. A little bit of overkill, but a little bit of overkill only hurt the enemies. And the purple planet off in the corner. So, 224 prestige for that one, and a neutralized owl. Wow, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. But that is where we're going to wrap it up for today. We are now beginning the Northern Rim Siege, because I think we're going to work on up here before we start moving down here into the triangle. Yeah, that'll... Oh, I was going to show one thing. Empire view. Click. Cartel view. Yeah, look at the amount of pain we've been doing. This is our cartel. It is Prime Industries. At least I assume, because same colors, so I guess we're meeting. But yeah. This is the map within the map that happens underneath the warfare. But we focus on this one because we're empires, so we kill other empires. But yeah, so we will probably focus our efforts up here for a little while, annihilate things, do good works, and then head south to finish off the Federation. It has been a long campaign, and there is still more ahead of us, but that will have to wait for another time. I've been Turek. If you like what you've seen, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive notifications every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment. What is your most anticipated target for, do you think... I don't even know. Just leave a comment. Say hi. How you doing? What'd you have for breakfast? Did you eat breakfast? You should be eating breakfast. It's good for you. Anyway, I will see you all in the next episode.